The laugh came first. Sharp, loud, confident. It cut through the glass-walled boardroom and landed on her like a slap. She stood near the door, clutching a thin folder, heels planted carefully on the polished floor. No badge. No nameplate. Just a quiet presence in a room built for noise. The CEO leaned back in his chair. "Is this a joke?" he said, smiling wide. "Who let the intern in?" A few men chuckled. Not all of them. Enough. She felt her face heat up, but kept her eyes steady. The skyline behind them glowed with money and power. She smelled coffee. Leather. Control. "I was told to come here," she said. Her voice stayed calm. That seemed to annoy him more. "Sweetheart," the CEO replied, tapping the table, "this meeting decides jobs. Futures. You don't belong in this room." One man avoided her gaze. Another checked his phone. The silence was loud. She noticed the security camera in the corner. The small red light blinking. Recording. The CEO stood. He walked closer. Too close. "You can leave now," he said softly. "Before this gets uncomfortable." Her fingers tightened around the folder. Inside it were emails. Contracts. Names. Proof. She took one step forward instead of back. The room shifted. Chairs creaked. Breath caught. The CEO's smile faded. "Last warning," he said. The door behind her clicked shut. The room went quiet when she didn't leave. She stood there, near the door, hands steady, folder pressed against her chest. The CEO waited, smiling like he had already won. "Well," he said. "That was polite. Now go." She looked around the table. 12 seats. 11 filled. All eyes on her. Some curious. Some annoyed. Some amused. "I was scheduled," she said. The CEO laughed again. Louder this time. "Scheduled," he repeated. "By who?" She didn't answer right away. She felt the weight of the moment settle into her shoulders. Her heart beat faster, but her face stayed still. "I received an email," she said. It said 10 a.m. boardroom A. A man to the CEO's right frowned. "That's not possible." The CEO waved him off. "Relax. HR messes up all the time." He turned back to her. "You should be grateful. Most interns don't get this close to power." "I'm not an intern," she said. The words landed flat. No one reacted. The CEO leaned forward, elbows on the table. "Listen," he said, lowering his voice. "This isn't personal. You're just out of your depth." She noticed the security guard shift near the wall. "I can stand," she replied. That drew a few looks. "You can stand outside," the CEO said. A pause. She thought about the people who lost their jobs last quarter. The numbers she memorized. The emails that ended with silence. "I was told to observe," she said. The CEO's smile thinned. "Observe what?" "Process," she answered. The word felt dangerous. A man across the table cleared his throat. "Should we start?" The CEO didn't take his eyes off her. "We will," he said. "Once the distraction is handled." He snapped his fingers. "Security." The guard took a step forward. "Slow. Careful." She met his eyes. He hesitated. "I haven't disrupted anything," she said. "I'm standing. I'm quiet." The CEO stood up. His chair scraped the floor. "You're testing my patience," he said. "This company runs on order." She swallowed. Fear pressed into her chest. She thought about walking out. About how easy that would be. She didn't move. "I have the right to be here," she said. The CEO laughed once more, but there was no humor in it. "We'll see," he said. He turned to the table. "Let's begin." The meeting started with her still standing there. The CEO didn't invite her to sit. He didn't even acknowledge her anymore. Numbers filled the screen at the front of the room. Charts. Percentages. Clean lines that hid human damage. "Quarter 3, the CFO said. "We trim 8%. 8% meant faces. Families. Rent unpaid." The CEO nodded. "Necessary." She watched the room react. No shock. No pause. A man near the window said, "The plant in Riverside is bleeding us." Another added, "That town never recovers anyway." A few soft laughs. Her fingers tightened around the folder. She stayed quiet. She noticed the words they used. Trim. Bleeding. Clean break. No one said people. "Legal concerns?" the CEO asked. A woman flipped a page. "Minimal risk. Severance covers us." "Good," the CEO said. "Then we move fast." Fast meant silent nights. Boxes. Security escorts. She felt heat behind her eyes but forced it down. The junior analyst across the table glanced at her. Just once. Then away. Any objections? The CEO asked. No one spoke. Silence voted yes. She shifted her weight. Her heels squeaked against the floor. The CEO's eyes snapped to her. Do you need something? He asked. No, she said. The word came out steady. He stared a moment longer, then turned back. As I thought. The janitor passed the glass wall outside, pushing his cart. He slowed. Looked in. Looked at her. Their eyes met. He frowned just slightly. She looked back at the screen. Another slide appeared. Community Impact. The title was bold. The content was thin. PR will handle backlash, the CEO said. Local donations. One press release. People will protest, someone said. Let them, the CEO replied. Outrage fades. She felt something break loose in her chest. Next item, he said. A document slid down the table. It stopped near her feet. No one noticed. She bent and picked it up. The junior analyst inhaled sharply. Sir, the analyst said, that's confidential. The CEO waved him off. She can't read upside down. She looked at the page. Her name was there. Not bold. Not highlighted. But printed. Observer, voting pending. Her pulse jumped. She kept her face still. She placed the document back on the table. Problem? The CEO asked. No, she said again. He narrowed his eyes. The meeting rolled on. They talked about contracts. About leverage. About pressure. One man joked, if they complain, we call the cops. Laughter followed. Her stomach tightened. She thought of the email that brought her here. The careful language. The warning tone. Observe. Document. Do not interrupt. She breathed in slowly. Security shifted again near the wall. The CEO stood. 5-minute break. Chairs scraped back. Voices rose. The CEO walked past her. Stopped. You're still here, he said. Yes, she replied. You're persistent, he said. That won't help you. She met his eyes. I'm not trying to be helped. His smile vanished. Be careful, he said quietly. People like you misunderstand rooms like this. What do you mean? She asked. He leaned closer. Power isn't an invitation. Then he walked away. The junior analyst lingered. You should leave, he whispered. For your own sake. She shook her head. Why? He asked. Because I see everything, she said. He swallowed and left. The janitor paused outside again. Slipped his phone into his pocket. Recording. The CEO returned early. Break's over, he said. And I want her gone before we finish. Security stepped forward. She didn't move. She looked at the door. Then at the table. Then she spoke. My name, she said, is on your paperwork. The room froze. What? The CEO said. She pointed at the document. He reached for it. His face changed. And for the first time, doubt flickered. The CEO didn't speak right away. He stared at the document like it had betrayed him. That means nothing, he said finally. His voice was calm, but something thin ran under it. Draft paperwork circulates all the time. A few heads nodded. Relief spread fast when power sounded confident. She stayed silent. The CEO straightened the page, slid it back into the stack, and looked at security. Escort her out, he said. Now. The guard hesitated. She felt every eye on her back. Pressure pressed in from all sides. This was the moment the room expected her to fold. I'm not refusing, she said. I'm complying with instructions. The CEO laughed, sharp and short. You're trespassing. I was invited, she replied. By who? He snapped. She didn't answer. The silence stretched. The CFO cleared his throat. We're wasting time. Yes, the CEO said, eyes still locked on her. We are. He stepped closer to security. Do your job. The guard shifted his weight. Sir, I need confirmation. The CEO turned slowly. You're questioning me? The guard stiffened. Procedure. That word again. She felt a small surge of control return to her chest. I can show the email, she said. The CEO smiled like a knife. You won't show anything. Phones aren't allowed. I memorized it, she said. A few people glanced at each other. That's enough, the CEO said. You don't get to speak anymore. I haven't interrupted, she replied. You're breathing, he snapped. That's enough. A man near the end of the table stood halfway. Maybe we should pause. Sit, the CEO barked. The man sat. The CEO turned back to her. This is how it works, he said quietly. You follow instructions. You don't improvise. She felt fear spike. Not loud fear. Cold fear. Compliance, he continued, is how people survive in places like this. She met his eyes. I didn't come here to survive. That did it. The CEO's face hardened. Security. The guard took a step forward. She raised her hands slowly. Not surrender. Visibility. I'm not resisting, she said. I'm documenting. Documenting what? The CEO asked. Behavior, she said. Process. The CEO laughed again, but it sounded wrong now. You think notes protect you? She didn't answer. The junior analyst spoke up, voice shaking. Sir, maybe we should check. Enough, the CEO said. One more word and you'll join her. The analyst went silent. The guard stopped 2 feet away from her. Ma'am, he said quietly, please cooperate. She looked at him. Really looked. I am, she said. I'm standing where I was told to stand. The guard glanced at the CEO. The CEO clenched his jaw. Remove her. Sir, the guard said lower now, there's a camera. The CEO's eyes flicked to the corner. The red light still blinking. So, he said. So everything is recorded. The CEO smiled slowly. Good. He turned back to her. Then you'll look very unreasonable. She felt her pulse in her ears. I haven't raised my voice, she said. You don't have to, he replied. Your presence is disruptive. That's subjective, she said. The CEO stepped even closer. You're not as smart as you think. She swallowed. You're not as protected as you think. The room went dead quiet. A phone buzzed somewhere. No one checked it. The CEO straightened his jacket. This meeting is suspended, he said. Until she's gone. The CFO frowned. We have deadlines. Then blame her, the CEO said. That's easy. He looked back at security. Final instruction. The guard exhaled. Ma'am, I'm asking you to leave. She felt the weight of choice press down. Leave now, and everything stayed hidden. Stay, and the threat became real. She thought of the people outside this building. The ones never invited into rooms like this. I will leave, she said. The CEO smiled. After, she added, I finish observing. His smile vanished. You don't set terms, he said. She reached into her folder and pulled out a single page. Held it up. This meeting, she said, violates your own governance policy. The CFO stood. That's not true. She read aloud. Observers may not be removed without cause during active sessions. The CFO froze. The CEO's eyes burned. That clause, he said, is outdated. It's current, she replied. He turned to legal. Is it? The lawyer hesitated. That's what I thought, she said. The CEO's voice dropped. You're making a mistake. No, she said. I'm making a record. The guard stepped back. The CEO looked around the table. No one met his eyes. He clenched his fists. Fine, he said. Stay. He leaned in close. But understand this. Compliance ends protection. Refusal invites consequences. She met his stare. I'm ready. The CEO turned away, jaw tight. The meeting resumed. But nothing felt controlled anymore. And somewhere down the hall, an elevator dinged. Someone important was coming up. The CEO didn't sit back down. He stood at the head of the table, hands braced against the polished wood, like the room might slide away if he let go. Let's be clear, he said. This meeting continues under protest. No one objected, she said. He ignored her. We are moving forward, he continued. And anything that disrupts that will be addressed. She felt the shift. Not power leaving him. Power tightening. Slides changed on the screen. Numbers again. Deals. Projections. She listened differently now. She wasn't just observing decisions. She was mapping intent. Supplier renegotiation, the CFO said. We reduce costs by applying pressure. What kind of pressure? She asked. The CEO snapped his head toward her. You don't ask questions. I'm allowed to document, she said. Clarification helps accuracy. The CFO hesitated. Delayed payments. Revised terms. And penalties? She asked. Silence. The CEO spoke. Standard. Which ones? She pressed. A man near the end of the table shifted. We don't need to go into detail. She wrote that down. The CEO noticed. Stop writing, he said. She didn't. Stop, he repeated. I can't, she replied. It's part of the process. His mouth tightened. You enjoy this? No, she said. I endure it. That landed. The legal counsel cleared her throat. We should be cautious. About what? The CEO asked. Documentation, she said before the lawyer could answer. The CEO laughed, but it came out brittle. You think notes equal leverage? She looked up. I think patterns do. The screen changed again. A list of names appeared. Locations. Departments. She recognized 2 of them. Stories she had read. Complaints buried quietly. Are these performance-related? She asked. Yes, the CEO said quickly. Then why do they align with union efforts? She asked. A murmur ran around the table. That's a coincidence, the CEO said. 3 times is coincidence, she said. 8 times is strategy. The CFO spoke fast. This is confidential. She nodded. So was the last settlement. The room stilled. The CEO turned slowly. What settlement? She didn't answer. She flipped a page in her folder. Just one. The junior analyst sucked in air. The CEO stepped forward. You don't get to threaten this company. I'm not threatening, she said. I'm referencing. Reference outside material again, he said. And I will shut this down. You can't, she replied. His eyes flashed. Watch me. She felt her pulse climb. Her palms damp. She reminded herself to breathe. Let's take a step back, the lawyer said. We should review governance. The CEO cut her off. Later. Now, the lawyer insisted. The CEO glared. We don't derail for hypotheticals. They're not hypothetical, she said. He rounded on her. You think you're smarter than this room? No, she said. I think I'm paying attention. That earned a few glances. The CEO looked at the security guard. Be ready. The guard nodded, uneasy. The janitor passed by again outside the glass. Slower this time. She caught his eye. He tapped his pocket once. Her phone vibrated silently. She didn't look. The CFO leaned toward the CEO. Whispered. The CEO shook his head. We continue, he said. Item 7. The screen showed a budget line. Compliance costs reduced. She felt a chill. What compliance? She asked. The CEO sighed. Regulatory. Which regulation? She pressed. Enough, he snapped. Answering avoids risk, she said. Stop coaching us, he said. I'm documenting, she replied. The CFO spoke carefully. We've adjusted oversight. How? She asked. By streamlining reporting. To whom? She asked. The CEO slammed his hand on the table. That's it, he said. This ends now. She didn't flinch. You're spiraling, she said quietly. That's usually when mistakes surface. The room went very still. The CEO stared at her. You want to know how power works? Yes, she said. It erases problems, he said. She shook her head. It hides them. He leaned close. Too close. You don't belong here, he said softly. And when this is over, no one will remember you were. She met his eyes. They already are. He froze. What? He asked. She glanced at the glass wall. Employees had gathered outside now. Whispering. Watching. The lawyer noticed. The CFO noticed. The CEO turned. His jaw tightened. Who let them stand there? He demanded. No one answered. Her phone vibrated again. This time she looked. Board chair, on my way. Do not engage further. She slipped the phone back into her pocket. The CEO watched her carefully now. Who are you texting? No one relevant, she said. He smiled without warmth. That will change. The screen went dark. The CEO straightened. Meeting adjourned. No, the lawyer said. It isn't. The CEO ignored her and headed for the door. Security didn't move. The CEO stopped. Turned back slowly. What now? He asked. The lawyer swallowed. We've been instructed to hold. By who? The CEO demanded. The door at the far end of the room opened. Footsteps entered. Measured. Confident. The CEO's face drained of color. She stayed exactly where she was. The door closed behind them. Not slammed. Not rushed. Sealed. The board chair didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Everyone stay seated, he said. The CEO stopped mid-step. That won't be necessary, the CEO replied. This meeting was adjourned. The board chair looked at him. Just looked. No, he said. It wasn't. The CEO forced a smile. With respect, you weren't present. I was informed, the board chair said. In real time. The CEO glanced around the room. Faces that had laughed earlier now stared at the table. At their hands. Anywhere but him. Security stayed still. The board chair turned to her. Are you all right? She nodded once. Yes. The CEO laughed, sharp and hollow. This is absurd. She disrupted operations. Did she? The board chair asked. She refused to comply, the CEO said quickly. She challenged authority. The board chair tilted his head. Authority doesn't mean immunity. The CEO's jaw tightened. We should speak privately, the CEO said. The board chair considered it. Then nodded. Everyone else, he said. Wait here. Murmurs rose. The CEO gestured sharply. You. Come. She followed them into the smaller conference room. The door shut again. Glass walls. Frosted halfway. Enough to see shapes outside. The CEO rounded on her the moment they were alone. You planned this, he said. She stayed calm. I documented it. You humiliated me, he snapped. You did that yourself, she replied. The board chair raised a hand. Enough. The CEO exhaled sharply. This is a misunderstanding. No, the board chair said. This is a pattern. The CEO scoffed. Based on what? She opened her folder. Not all the way. Just enough. Emails. Dates. Language repeated too often to be coincidence. The CEO's eyes flicked over them. That's selective, he said. Context matters. It does, she agreed. That's why there's more. She slid one page forward. The CEO didn't touch it. You don't have clearance, he said. The board chair picked it up instead. Read. Then another. Silence filled the room. The CEO laughed again. Softer now. You're letting her control the room. The board chair looked up. She already did. The CEO's face reddened. You're making a mistake. Threats won't help, the board chair said. I'm not threatening, the CEO replied. I'm explaining reality. He turned to her. You think exposure ends this? She met his eyes. I think silence made it possible. The CEO stepped closer. Do you know what happens to people who challenge systems? The board chair's voice hardened. Sit down. The CEO didn't move. She's not protected, he said. She's useful until she isn't. The board chair stood. That's enough. The CEO laughed again, but it cracked. You think removing me fixes culture? No, the board chair said. But it stops you from shaping it. The CEO finally sat. Hard. You don't understand what you're inviting, he said quietly. She felt fear ripple through her. Real fear. Consequences beyond this room. I understand exactly, she said. That's why I'm here. The board chair turned to her. Do you feel safe continuing? She hesitated. Just a beat. Yes, she said. The CEO watched her closely. You won't always. The board chair ignored him. We'll return to the room. Outside, the door opened. Every head turned. The CEO walked back in first. His posture was different now. Tighter. She followed. Then the board chair. Meeting resumes, the board chair said. Under review. The CFO swallowed. Review of what? Leadership, the board chair said. The CEO clenched his jaw. We will proceed item by item, the board chair continued. With full transparency. The CEO leaned toward her as he sat. This isn't over, he whispered. She didn't look at him. I know, she said. Across the glass, employees watched. Phones out now. Recording openly. The janitor stood among them. Security didn't stop anyone. The board chair took his seat. First, he said, we address conduct. The CEO straightened. I object. Noted, the board chair said. And overridden. The CEO's hands shook once. Just once. She saw it. Power didn't disappear. It panicked. And that was when she knew. This room would never be quiet again. The board chair folded his hands. Before we proceed, he said, we need to clarify who is in this room. The CEO shifted in his seat. That's unnecessary. It isn't, the board chair replied. Names matter. She felt the room lean forward without moving. The board chair looked at her. Please introduce yourself. The CEO laughed under his breath. This again. She stood straighter. My name, she said, is Amara Hale. The sound of it landed differently than before. Not quiet. Not uncertain. The CFO blinked. Hale. A man near the end of the table stiffened. As in? Yes, Amara said. That Hale. The CEO's smile froze. The board chair continued calmly. Ms. Hale was appointed to this board 6 weeks ago. Murmurs broke out. That's impossible, the CEO said. I would have been informed. You were, the board chair said. You dismissed the notice. I don't remember that, the CEO snapped. You deleted it, the board chair replied, along with 3 follow-ups. The room went silent. Amara felt her pulse steady. This was the moment everything tilted. The CEO stood up again. This is a setup. No, the board chair said. This is governance. Amara spoke. I was asked to observe before voting. The CFO's voice shook. Observe what? Culture, she said. Decision-making. Treatment. The CEO laughed loudly now. Too loudly. So this was a test? Yes, she said. You failed. A man slammed his notebook shut. This is outrageous. Amara looked at him. You joked about calling police on workers. He opened his mouth. Closed it. She turned to another. You signed off on layoffs you knew violated contract language. The man stared at the table. She didn't raise her voice. You, she said to the CEO, assumed I was invisible. The CEO's face flushed red. You misrepresented yourself. I didn't, she replied. You assumed. The board chair nodded. That distinction matters. The CEO pointed at her. You let them humiliate me. They followed your lead, Amara said. The room felt smaller now, like walls had moved in. The board chair slid a folder across the table. We've reviewed her documentation. The CEO didn't touch it. It includes recordings, the board chair continued, emails, witness statements. Witnesses, the CEO scoffed. The janitor stepped forward from the doorway. I witnessed, he said quietly. Everyone turned. I clean this floor every night, the man continued. I hear things. The CEO stared at him. You're not authorized to speak. I wasn't authorized to be disrespected either, the man said. The board chair nodded. Thank you. The CEO looked around, searching for support. None came. Amara felt a tight ache in her chest. Relief mixed with grief. This shouldn't have required proof. The board chair turned back to her. Ms. Hale, are you prepared to vote? The CEO slammed his hand on the table. You can't let her decide this. She already has, the board chair said. By revealing it. Amara took a breath. Yes, she said. I'm prepared. The CEO's voice dropped. If you do this, you burn bridges. She met his eyes. They were already burning. The board chair raised his pen. Motion to suspend the CEO pending investigation. Objection, the CEO shouted. Noted, the board chair said. Vote. Hands rose. One by one. The CEO watched them like they were strangers. The last hand lifted. The board chair exhaled. Motion passes. The CEO sank back into his chair. Amara felt the weight hit her then. Not victory. Cost. The board chair continued. Effective immediately, you are relieved of duties. Security stepped closer. This time without hesitation. The CEO looked at Amara. His voice cracked. You think this fixes anything? She shook her head. I think it starts something. He laughed once. Weak. You'll regret this. Maybe, she said. But not today. Security guided him toward the door. As he passed her, he whispered, Say your name again. She didn't hesitate. Amara Hale, she said clearly. He stopped. Just for a second. Everyone heard it. Then he was gone. The door closed. Silence filled the room. Not fearful now. Different. The board chair sat back. We'll need statements. Amara nodded. Outside the glass, employees stared. Some cried. Some smiled. Some just watched. The janitor gave her a small nod. She returned it. The board chair looked at her. This will follow you. She swallowed. I know. Are you ready for that? He asked. She thought of the laughter. The assumptions. The pressure. Yes, she said. I've been ready. The board chair closed his folder. Then let's continue, he said. Properly. Amara sat down for the first time. Not as an observer. As a decision-maker. And the room finally understood who she had been all along. The room didn't celebrate. There were no smiles. No relief. Just movement. Chairs shifted. Papers gathered. Phones silenced. People adjusting to a world that had tilted without asking permission. The board chair spoke first. We proceed carefully. The CFO nodded too fast. Of course. Amara stayed seated. Her hands rested on the table now. Not folded. Not hidden. The legal counsel cleared her throat. We need to address exposure. Say it plainly, Amara said. The lawyer hesitated. There are liability risks. From today, Amara replied. Or from before? The lawyer didn't answer. That silence matters, Amara said. The board chair nodded. It does. A man near the end of the table spoke. This can't go public. Amara looked at him. Why? Because it damages the company. She tilted her head. Or because it shows how damage was allowed. The man looked away. The board chair raised a hand. We don't bury this. The CEO's empty chair sat at the head of the table. Still warm. Still loud. First, the board chair said, we notify regulators. A sharp inhale ran through the room. That's drastic, someone said. It's necessary, Amara replied. The CFO rubbed his temples. Stockholders will panic. They should, she said. They were lied to. The CFO stiffened. Watch your tone. She met his gaze. Watch your records. The board chair leaned forward. Ms. Hale is correct. The CFO nodded once. Forced. Next, the board chair continued. We review executive conduct. Starting when? A man asked. Amara answered. As far back as the complaints were ignored. The man's face tightened. That's years. Yes, she said. That's the point. A phone buzzed. The lawyer checked hers. Her face changed. What is it? The board chair asked. Media, she said. They're already asking questions. The CFO swore under his breath. How did this leak? Amara didn't answer. The janitor's phone buzzed outside the glass. So did others. The board chair exhaled. Prepare a statement. No, Amara said. The room stilled. We don't spin this, she continued. We disclose it. That could ruin us, someone said. She looked at them. No. This already did. Silence pressed down. The board chair nodded slowly. Agreed. Amara felt a wave of exhaustion hit her then. Heavy. Bone deep. But the system was moving now. Slow. Reluctant. Still moving. Security returned to the room. Sir, one said to the board chair, the former CEO is requesting counsel. Granted, the board chair said. Externally. And there's more, the guard added. He made a statement. The room tightened again. What kind of statement? Amara asked. He claims discrimination, the guard said. Reverse. A few heads turned toward her. Amara felt the familiar weight settle in her chest. Of course he does, she said. The board chair sighed. We anticipated that. The CFO spoke carefully. We'll need to prepare for optics. Amara looked at him. You should prepare for truth. He bristled. You think this is easy for us? No, she replied. I think it's new. The lawyer spoke. There will be investigations. Yes, Amara said. That's accountability. A man leaned back in his chair. And what if they find more? Amara met his eyes. Then we stop pretending we didn't know. The board chair straightened. This company will cooperate fully. The man swallowed. Outside, voices rose. Employees gathered closer. Cameras visible now. No one stopped them. The board chair looked at Amara. You understand this makes you a target. She nodded. I already was. People will question your motives, he said. They already did, she replied. And your safety, he added. She paused. I'll manage, she said. The board chair held her gaze. We'll support you. She nodded once. A notification popped up on her phone. A headline forming. She didn't open it. The CFO stood. I need air. He left quickly. The lawyer gathered her papers. I'll draft disclosures. The board chair rose. Meeting adjourned. No one argued this time. As the room emptied, Amara stayed seated. The janitor stepped inside quietly. They're calling it brave, he said. Online. She smiled faintly. They weren't here. He nodded. Still counts. She looked at the empty chair again. Power had sat there for years. Untouched. Now it was just furniture. The board chair paused at the door. Ms. Hale. She looked up. This system won't thank you, he said. I didn't do it for thanks, she replied. He nodded. Good. The door closed behind him. Amara sat alone. Her hands finally shook. Not fear. Release. The system had turned. Slowly. Loudly. And it wasn't done yet. The building looked different from the outside. Same glass. Same steel. But now people stood in front of it. Cameras. Microphones. Signs held too tightly. Amara paused at the top of the steps. The noise hit her all at once. "Miss Hale, is it true? Did the CEO discriminate?" She didn't answer. Security formed a loose line, not to block her, just to slow the rush. Inside, the lobby felt too quiet. She walked past the reception desk. The woman there met her eyes and nodded. Respect. Not curiosity. That was new. In the temporary office upstairs, Amara closed the door and leaned against it. Her hands shook again. She let them. The phone buzzed. Messages stacked fast. Support. Hate. Fear disguised as concern. She scrolled past most of it. A message from her mother stopped her. "I'm proud of you. I'm also worried." Amara sat down. Both things could be true. The board chair knocked once, then entered. "Media briefing in 20 minutes, he said. She nodded. "I'll be there." "They'll push," he added. "They'll ask why now." She looked up. And they'll ask how long this has been happening." She exhaled slowly. "Then we tell them." He studied her. "You don't owe anyone your pain." She met his gaze. "If it keeps someone else from carrying it alone, I do." He didn't argue. When he left, Amara stared at the wall. She thought about the laugh. The chair scraping. The word intern. How small they had tried to make her. The briefing room filled quickly. Lights. Cameras. Faces she didn't know, all demanding something. She stepped to the podium. The noise softened. "Ms. Hale," a reporter said immediately. "Did you expect this outcome?" "No," Amara replied. "I expected resistance." Another voice. "Why didn't you announce who you were?" "Because I didn't need to," she said. The behavior spoke first. A murmur moved through the room. "Was race a factor?" someone asked. Amara didn't rush her answer. "Yes," she said. The room stilled. "It was in the assumptions," she continued. "In who was questioned, who was dismissed, who was believed." Another reporter leaned forward. "Are you afraid?" She thought about the threats. The whispers. The cost. "Yes," she said honestly. "And I did it anyway." The cameras kept rolling. Outside, employees watched the feed on their phones. The janitor stood with them, arms crossed, nodding once. After, the room emptied slowly. Amara stayed behind. Her chest felt tight. Heavy. Lighter too. Justice didn't feel clean. It felt earned. And expensive. Days passed. Investigations began. Resignations followed. Some quietly. Some loud. Policies changed. Statements issued. Training scheduled. Not enough. Never enough. But movement. Amara walked the halls now and felt eyes on her. Some grateful. Some resentful. She accepted both. One afternoon, she found a note on her desk. "Thank you for seeing us." No name. She folded it carefully. At home, the silence was different. She slept with the lights on for a week. When the dreams came, they were loud. But she woke up. Every time. On the 7th day, she returned to the boardroom. Same table. Same chairs. Different weight. She sat in the seat once denied to her. She placed her notebook on the table. Opened it. "Next item," she said. Voices responded. Respectful. Measured. Not perfect. Real. After the meeting, she paused by the glass wall. The city moved below. Unaware. Always moving. She saw her reflection faintly. Not invisible. Not untouched either. She carried the cost with her now. The fear. The responsibility. But also the truth. Power hadn't changed her. It had revealed her. And this time, when the room listened, it wasn't because of her title. It was because she refused to disappear.